Hello and welcome to my newest video. This will be a bit short one, but hope you enjoy. We will cover the prehistoric times of Finland. This includes Stone, Bronze and Iron Ages. We'll also have a little look at Vikings. Prehistorical time means time before recorded history. This in the world has been set at 3000 BC, but it was different in Finland. For Finns the prehistoric time lasted 4000 years longer. Historic times only started at the year 1000. In Finland, people mainly lived on their own, hunting and gathering. The prehistory is divided into ages: Stone, Bronze and Iron Ages. Stone Age is also divided into three: the eldest, old and younger Stone Age. Each of the ages have gotten the names from the tools that humankind used to use during that age. Not all could afford the most expensive tools, so wooden tools were also common during these ages. The Finnish historical timeline starts with the eldest Stone Age, then came the Ice Age and the Old Stone Age. The Stone Age ended to the Younger Stone Age at around 1500 BC, which marks the start of the Bronze Age. Iron Age starts at 500 BC. The earliest Finnish culture can be tracked down to 6500 BC. The usage of clay was not yet known, but wood was used to create stuff. Also stone was used for tools, and dogs were vital as well. The first signs of clay items were discovered from 5000 BC, and signs of farming have been found from 2500 BC, with pots that could store grain. Bronze was made from combining copper and some other metal. This was not found in Finland, so it had to be imported. During the Bronze Age, starting from 1500 BC, trading got more common. Bronze items were rare in Finland, so it's often called Early Metal Age, including both Bronze and Iron Ages. Farming got more popular, even though hunting and gathering was still the main way to live. Farmers only kept animals for food, like pigs, sheep, cows and goats. They were common to have. Salt was not yet invented, so food tasted a lot different than it does nowadays. To increase the lifespan of food, it must be salted, which was not an option, meaning that it had to be dried for winter. Finns are related to Europeans instead of Russians like some believe. Though the weird thing is that Western and Eastern Finns have many differences. For example, a German and a Brit have more in common than Western Finn with an Eastern Finn when it comes to genes. Eastern Finns are also not related to Russians or Asians. Finns tend to look a bit different to some other Europeans. This is not explained by being different race, but different living conditions. In different cultures, people have become to look different depending on the way they live. By looking at the name of the place in Finland, you can often tell what kind of people lived there. The Finnish language is only about 1500 years old, but it is not known what language the Finnish people spoke before the Finnish language in the prehistoric times. The Finnish composer Sibelius found the nation's first cave painting in 1911. It would take another 50 years for someone to find a second one. Sibelius is a well-known character in the Finnish history already, so it was quite lucky for him to find the first cave painting. Some of the cave paintings are over 7000 years old. Usually they include honored prey like moose. Also humans were common to be found. Boats were really common too, but in the Stone Age boats were not used for travel, which has led to some people speculating that it might represent death and moving to the afterlife. After the farming got more common in Finland, the cave paintings fell out of interest and they were no longer drawn. The meaning of paintings can never really be 100% known, but most people agree that they are drawn in sacred places. It was more common to find items about animals than humans. Necklaces were pretty but also used for supernatural beliefs. After 4000 BC it was common to leave jewelry in the graves of your loved ones. Iron Age can be divided into 5 categories, with what was imported from other lands. The pre-Roman time begins at 500 BC, Roman time at year 0, migration period at 400, Wendell era at 575 and Viking era from 800 to 1050. As the Iron Age began, it was hard time for Finland. It was very cold and people were dying from cold and diseases. It is estimated that there were a maximum of 5,000 to 10,000 people in Finland at the start of the Iron Age. As the Romans thrived, their influence reached even Finland, increasing trade and profit. Finns often sold warm fur. During the Roman time, immigration from Sweden was at its peak. Finland got a lot more settlers than before, and communities grew. At the end of prehistoric time, in the year 1000, it was estimated that there were 50,000 Finns, 5 to 10 times more than the start of the Iron Age. Denmark, Norway and Sweden had many tribes with Scandinavian culture. They were mostly farmers who also kept livestock. Though, as the times got rougher, people would build ships and sail away in hopes of getting rich and finding a better life. These people started to be called Vikings. Finns were not Vikings, but their influence was heavy. Vikings were rumored to be fierce, ruthless warriors who showed no mercy, but this was not true at all. Historians believe that the truth about the Vikings were exaggerated, though it was found that many Vikings were around 180 centimeters tall, when Europeans were around 175 centimeters. People have said that Vikings were barbarians, but that was not true. Vikings were civilized, their civilization just happened to be different than the normal European Christian one. Though the pillaging is true, men were killed and rest taken as slaves. This might sound barbaric, but this was the standard amongst Christians too. Not all Viking travels were for pillaging. They were also good traders, buying iron tools and selling fur mostly. Vikings created colonies in different parts of the world, but these have merged with the other countries with time. Vikings also found America before Columbus did. This was around the year 1000, whole 500 years before Columbus. The Vikings had a rich culture. They told sagas about great Vikings. These were turned into literature centuries after the Vikings. They should not be held as documents though, they are more like exaggerated fairy tales. The Scandinavian tribes formed alliances and slowly turned into kingdoms. Denmark was the first kingdom to be made. Norway and Sweden were still fairly divided before Christians. Finland did not become a kingdom but remained as multiple tribes. The prehistoric time of Finland ends in 1050 with the end of the Viking era. This is when the Christianity reached Finland.